Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well, and welcome to another video where we're going to look at the SP-16 in some more detail, but this time we're going to sync it up to the Toraz AS1 and do a bit of MIDI work using the beautiful Nord Drum 3P. So we'll also include some samples as well. I apologise for the slightly barreled visuals on the video, but there's really not much I can do about that. I've only got one camera and trying to fit everything in can be a bit of a pain. So please excuse me for not being the most awesome YouTuber in the world, but it's quality over quality. Does that make sense? Musical quality, that's what we're after. So let's start a new project and I go back to here. I'm going to create a new project and we'll just give this a name. YouTube 1, that will do. So we're working completely from blank and rather than using samples, which is what we're used to, we're going to work with MIDI and the specific AS1 track. So when you go to load a track and you go to browse, sorry, not to browse, to track type, you've got four options: sample, through, MIDI, and the Toraz S1. So let's start off with MIDI first, and then we'll look at getting the Toraz S1 in place as well. So I'm going to click on MIDI. Now my MIDI setup is that I have a MIDI cable going out to a MIDI hub, which you can see over here, and that's triggering all of the other synths as well, and everything's got its own MIDI channel. Now with the Nord, you can use MIDI 10, and MIDI 10 is the sort of omni channel to play everything, all sounds, all 6 sounds just through one channel, but that does limit you for things like pitch. So I'm going to use MIDI channels 11 to 16, which is these channels here, 1 to 6, and you can configure that if you want to on the Nord, but it makes sense for me. So we're going to need to work with MIDI channels 11 to 16 on here. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, we're going to select our channel, and you can see we've got all the channel options. So I'm going to select channel 11, and hopefully you can hear that. Just checking my audio input. Yep, that's coming through. So, and you can see, hopefully, over here, there's a little light shining up. So we can now start to play with the sounds on the Nord. So let's put in a simple kick. Sorry to be obvious. We'll stick with 120. Really nice, yummy kick drum. And of course, we can change the drum options if we wanted to. Let's find a different kit. Let's go with something a bit random. That will do. I don't know what the other sounds are like, so we're going to experiment. Now we move on to track 2. This time we choose MIDI. We choose our channel again. Now we're going to go to channel 12, and let's just put some notes in. Okay, I can change that particular sound if I want to. So I'm going to select drum 2. Let's find a different tom. Keep it nice and minimal. That will do. Now we're going to go on to 3. You get the idea. Choose the MIDI channel. We're going to choose MIDI 11, 12, 13. I don't know what this will be, so let's... Okay, that doesn't work for me, so I'm going to go back, select part 3. And let's find a hi-hat. Let's bring the decay down a touch. Now, of course, we can start playing with things like velocity and also things like triplet notes as well. So if we wanted to get into the sequencer, we could maybe trigger one of these notes to do a retrigger. Nice. We could offset it a little bit if we wanted to. Very cool. And again, if we go back to our notes, we can start changing velocity. And because we're working in separate MIDI channels, we could even change pitch. Which doesn't want to work for some reason. Maybe with the more tonal ones we'll get some pitch, because if this is just noise, obviously there's no pitch changing. So we'll try that on a different one. Right, let's go to part 4. MIDI channel, we're now on 14. Let's find something a bit more tonal this time. What do we have in here? So I'm going to find, we'll go to part 4. Let's find one of the, that's lovely. Let's record that one in. And again, we can edit the sound on here if we want to. We could add some decay. Now, we can start to work with some CC data, and we can start, let's just stop that for a second, we can start to actually add some controls to affect some of the CC information of these particular sounds. So if we go back to make sure we're on part 4, CC1, we're going to adjust the decay. Now, I will need to check my phone. Bear with me very quickly. When I just do a very quick internet search to see Nord 3P CC numbers. I knew I should have done this beforehand, so always check the manual. Sorry, it had a bit of a freak out for a minute there. So this is now working. As you can hear, this is now picking up the decay of the sound of that bit of percussion. So we can start, if we want to, very cool. And again, because this is tone rather than noise, we could start getting into the notes. Nice. Let's lengthen the pattern slightly. And go back to that note and sharpen that one up. Maybe we could extend the cool. So we're starting to get some variation and really using the lovely sort of tonal palette of the AS1. Sorry, of the Nord. So because, you know, these are living, breathing instruments and they're trying to connect, sometimes things do go wrong. If you've got the Nord, get the manual out, or any synth you're using, get the manual out, or look online and find the CC numbers, because this is really, really important. We will just do one more sound. Let's get a snare in there. So let's go to track 5. We're going to go to MIDI. MIDI channel, and then the same on those two. So we're going to go to channel select, 5, drum select. Nice. And we'll go back to, just to get these notes, this percussion, I'm going to go a little bit of reverb. Maybe a little bit of delay as well. So we can shift, delay. Much more interesting. Cool. So, working with MIDI, you could do this with a TR8 if you wanted to. You can do it with any drum machine that you want. They're all going to have CC numbers, so you can start to program from here, which is really cool. Okay, let's have a look at now working with the AS1. So, there's 2 steps to setting up the AS1. We need an AS1 track, and then we need a line in track. So the AS1 is connected through MIDI in. I'm on channel 8 on this one, and I'm actually running the audio out of the AS1 into the Toraz, the SP-16. Sorry, I'm getting all my names confused today, it's Sunday. Into the SP-16. So this means that I can add some SP-16 effects. It means I can do some ducking as well. You don't have to do that. You can run it straight to your sound card and record it that way. But of course, you're getting the benefit of the drive, the filter, the resonance, and all that good stuff if you do run it through the unit. So let's set this up. We click on here. We're going to choose our track type. We're going to choose the AS1. And then over here, I'm going to choose my track type and we're going to use through. So when we play a note on the AS1, we can see that the line in is coming through, which is perfect. So let's go back to my tracks. That interestingly is set up to channel 13, which it shouldn't be, because the Toraz is actually set to channel 8. Perfect. Now, you do have some control over banks and presets using the Toraz. Now, there are some settings that you need to make that are specific to both the AS1 and the SP-16. I'm not going to go over those now. There's a brilliant Pioneer video, watch that. You need to make sure there are various global settings inside here that are the same. But once you've set it up, it's actually pretty straightforward. So you can look at your bank select. The F banks seem to be the ones that store the names. So if we click on F bank and then the program change, we can see the numbers. And as I change them or select them, they will update in here, which is exactly what we want. So let's find something like a bass, and you can see we've got Derpy Donk. That was the name on here, and that is now what we have on here. And we can also use our scale, and we can start to use the AS1. Let's turn it up a touch. That will do me. Let's hit record. Very nice. It really is. You can pick these up quite cheap now, the AS ones, and it really is a fantastic a fantastic little synth because you've basically got a mini Dave Smith. So what else can we do here? So we can look at our CC data, and actually it's going to give us a lot more information because this is now linked directly to the AS1. So if we wanted to do some filter changes, I think the filter is down here. Am I moving too fast? Oh, here we go, low pass filter, activate it. Again, we can automate this. Let's turn the cut off around here. And we could do the same with the decay, for example. So let's find the decay. Maybe it's on the release. Let's try again. Yeah, so this is the setting we want, and again we can just select our notes. Very cool. And that's it. It's as simple as that, really. The really thing I like about this, obviously, let's just mute. Really nice. Thing I like about it is obviously if you're using this in a live performance, you can jam along to it. Cool. And of course, when you save this project, it should save, well, it will save the program. I always just put the program and bank name in the file name just to be safe. Sometimes it's a good idea to have a notepad and pen with you as well, just to make notes on these kinds of projects. And now, so this is all MIDI. This is all the Nord drum and just the AS1. But of course, you could start adding some samples on top. So let's imagine we wanted a bit of low end. We're going to go with a sample. Let's browse the sample packs. Let's go for some, what shall we have a look for? I'm sure I've got some textures here somewhere. Let's just go for some top loops for the moment, see what we can find. So we've got some 120 Foley. I always love these. Just because they're very wonky. So let's stick that in and see what happens. On part one as well. Not great. Don't forget you got this as a scale. So you might, let's come out of here. So one thing you can do is change the gate. For these particularly long samples, you want to change the gate. Yeah, that one's not working for me. Let's find another one. That will do. And maybe we could just give this some effects. I think it needs to be filtered down a little bit. Now don't forget, you can't use side chaining in this instance because the Nord is going straight to my sound card, it's not going into here, and the Nord only has a stereo output, doesn't have individual outputs. So that's a slight annoyance, but really not much you can do about that. To be honest with you, I probably would side chain in the DAW once I've exported all of this. But yeah, that is it in a nutshell really. I'm just going to load up another project and show you what I did with that. Okay, so this project is loaded up, has remembered the particular preset I'm using, U2 P27, Terminator sequence, perfect. You can see I've got my MIDI channel 8, I've got my line in at the top, and over here I'm going to use, let's just save that previous kit. Shift, store. I'm using kit H1, which is one that I've built. Let's see how this sounds. So, lots going on the Nord. Let's mute the non-Nordy bits. And particularly love this. It's such a beautiful tone and synth generator. It's just so much fun and just completely unique. And once you start layering up other samples with it, it really does become a lot of fun. Still debating over whether to use this subby synth or the lead. Maybe a bit of both. And what I love about this is, you know, if you wanted to do some quick live arranging without the need to sit at a DAW the whole time and, you know, really overcomplicate things, this is great for doing that. So that's my second love letter to the SP-16. If you have got an AS1, this is a fantastic way of working together, and chucking in other drum modules really makes this such an awesome package. We all know it's a shame that there's no polyrhythms when you're programming, but that's why we're going to have a look at the squid in the next video, and how we can link the squid and the SP-16 up and potentially get much more intricate work going on. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments as ever. Thank you for all the comments in the previous video. There's a lot of love for the SP-16, which is just amazing. And share your music and share your videos as well, and we'll see you in the next video.